The Seleucids have brought to bear everything they have for this one battle. Hey, how's it going? My name is Jackie Fish and welcome back to another Total War Rome 2 online battle. Today we are diving back in because you guys have been seeming to be really enjoying these Rome Total War battles, and honestly so have I. So we're using just basically vanilla Rome Total War with a few graphical sub-mods that I've added on, which kind of just make the uniforms and the weapons feel a bit more up to date, because Rome 2 is a pretty old game, so I think a few of them just kind of make these battles feel a little bit more epic. So for today's engagement, we do have a force from the Seleucid supported with an army, and we should actually pause it because there's already some vanguard deployment going on in the forest, so I'll actually pause the battle so we don't miss any of that. But yeah, we have the Seleucids and we have their Persian vassal being brought to bear against a Lusitanian vassal and Carthage. So Carthage are bringing kind of their Spanish allies with them into this battle to go ahead and I guess fight. And you can obviously make the argument that these two factions would engage. Maybe Carthage, instead of going into Rome, they decided to go to Egypt and then eventually push through to the Seleucids, or maybe the Seleucids managed to conquer Egypt and then obviously clashed against the Carthaginians. And that's always quite an interesting thing of history, is how the huge empires of Egypt and Carthage were bordered for so long, but they never fought each other. I just always thought that was always really interesting. But anyway, back to the battle itself. So yeah, as you can see, both sides are bringing pretty hefty units. I'm loving the elephants. The Carthaginian force is mainly just like Libyan heavy infantry supported with some cavalry. We obviously have the noble horses. No sacred band though on the Carthaginian side, which is always interesting to see. Normally I love to bring a couple units here. We just have some African pikemen, and that's about it. And then over for the Lusitanian army, we have a lot of veteran infantry. These guys are fast and they can pack quite a punch, but in a straight up fight against the Seleucids, I doubt they will come out on top, so I'm sure the Spanish will have to do something to go ahead and win that. And they obviously also have the Balearic slingers that are very, very good. The Persians obviously are going to have their main strength in their cataphracts. The cataphract domination is going to come in, and yeah, it's going to be messy unless the Iberians and the Carthaginians can pin these guys down, because yeah, let me just tell you, they can do some great damage indeed. And obviously the Seleucids have their Greek Hellenic cavalry as well, so a pretty strong force. But yeah, let's just get this battle started. So we have some medium cavalry from the Seleucids, I guess, scouting out the forest, and then the vanguard deployment has come out of nowhere, catching them a bit off guard and taking down a handful of these horses right off the bat, already going down to 62 men in that unit, which is pretty huge, and I'm sure they're going to lose quite a few more as they continue to try and pull out of that engagement. So a really nice vanguard deployment here, and if they can escape from this without really getting hammered, that's also huge. We do see a lot of the Persian horse archers being brought around to this left flank. But again, these guys don't really want to get stuck in, so I think this, these forces in the forest are going to be taking a lot of, pounding from the missiles, but it's kind of good. These guys are guerrilla warriors. This is exactly what they're designed for, and honestly, they should just try and stay in the forest for as long as possible, because if they can stay in the forest, again, sorry, I'm just taking a screenshot. If they can stay in the forest, that's going to absorb a lot of the ammunition from the Seleucids, and then they can kind of advance forward the rest of their army. It's surprising we didn't see the Carthaginian try and get cavalry over here quicker. We do actually get a unit of the Persian noble horse archers charging in. A really nice impactful charge there, but I don't think this is exactly the unit you want to be diving in, fighting in the forest. Obviously, the cavalry fight a lot worse in the forest. I also love the HD graphics on these guys, being brought down by a lot of javelins and everything else. But it seems like the Lusitanians are just going to be charging out and just putting a lot of pressure on the Seleucid formation, trying to bring them down and just kind of cause as many issues. Oh my god, you can see so many of them being skewered out of the sky. But yeah, they're just really diving in here, trying to tire up and I guess do as much damage to the formation. And you can see a lot of arrows and javelins are being wasted on these units, which are generally pretty cheap. So this should make the Carthaginian job a lot easier. We also have the Persians fully pushed up here against them, I guess looking to bring their missile superiority to bear. These archers are a little bit further forward than necessarily I would like. I'm surprised the Lusitanians haven't tried to charge anything forward. But now the Persian archers are going to be duking it out with the Iberian archers, or with the Balearic slingers even, which I can't imagine will be going too great for them. They are going to fall back, and yeah, I mean, realistically, all the Persians want to do is just get these cataphracts engaged and start outflanking their opponents. They obviously also have these war elephants as well, the Indian war elephants, which they can also throw forward if they need to. But yeah, as you can see, there has been a lot of mayhem caused in the Seleucid line, but they haven't really taken advantage of it. But, you know, the Seleucid line will have time to reform. Now, you could imagine if the Carthaginian line was already, like, in the face of the Seleucids right now, they'd be all over the place, units would be running around, the cavalry would be a complete mess. But they've kind of given them time to form up, so this Spanish charge has kind of somewhat gone to waste. Obviously, they've managed to kill a lot of, but it could have been, you know, capitalized on a little bit more if they needed it. But the Seleucids are going to be able to take care of this. We do actually have a huge cavalry engagement right now. The medium cavalry going up against the Carthaginian cavalry. I think both of these horses are pretty evenly matched. There's no cataphracts here. But the Seleucids can go ahead and advance more infantry over here if they need more reinforcements to help out. And there's obviously also a lot of arrow fire flying in, helping this fight in favour of the Seleucids. They are obviously outnumbered, but here we go. Some noble horse archers charging in, so more of a Persian horse charging in, and any Persian horse is great. With the help of the archers, I think they might be able to take care of this battle line. The Persians are falling back after a pretty heavy engagement, and you do actually see a unit of a noble blood cavalry. My god, they sound absolutely insane. Charging in against the Iberian veteran shield warriors, but taking a massive volley by javelins. So all the horses are just trying to disrupt the front line with the support of the archers, then being driven back to the forest itself as the archers kind of pick away. So a very kind of big skirmisher move here by the Persians, not looking to directly engage against the Iberian army. The Carthaginians are now fully up here. We've got some war elephants who have been made to go berserk, but war elephants in Rome 2 are actually pretty tanky, and they're going to come flying into these awesome Syrian heavy archers and just rip through them like they are nothing. Yeah, these guys are going to run amok, and obviously they are currently going berserk, so it's very hard to direct these guys. But as I said, war elephants in Rome 2 are actually pretty decent. In Attila, they melt like they're nothing by like 1 or 2 javelin throws. But in Rome 2, they're actually pretty scary. And you tend to want to kind of either throw these guys in early just to cause the destruction that they are doing. Look at them, they're just running a rampage right here. Or you want to save them towards the end when the enemy don't have their javelins, don't have their archers. And I guess looking back on the battle and how it developed, you can really see the fact that the Iberian charge in the beginning out of this forest used up a lot of these javelins that would have necessarily have been on these African war elephants. So, you know, maybe that was their plan all along. This is a very disrupted battle line though. For now, and there's just a lot of skirmishing coming in from the Carthaginian side, and the Persians are kind of re-maneuvering their army to go ahead and meet them. I think they did just charge in against more of these mercenary Balearic slingers. But yeah, the slingers are getting their money's worth, chucking all of their rocks into the Seleucid line, and also obviously trying to hammer the cataphracts as they pull out. But the cataphracts proving pretty deadly in this battle, going up against the elite Persian army. Yeah, and it seems like both armies are kind of more condensing in now. The elephants are still going. How many kills are they on? Out of interest. Over 500 kills. That's pretty disgusting. Yeah, elephants in vanilla Rome 2 can pack one hell of a punch, because it's not like they haven't been focused by all the archers. They were made to rampage before going in, and they had a lot of archer fire focused in on them, but they just managed to really disrupt the Seleucid line. I mean, look at this force now. We've got more cavalry engaging over here as the Iberians come flying in now to engage, and it seems like the Seleucids did lose this cavalry engagement, besides the Persian horses that are still here helping out. I think again these Persian heavy horse are just being used to kill that last and final elephant that is, I think, just going down now, thank god, and now harassing the rest of the Iberian horse. Obviously, the Iberian horse is actually pretty decent in Rome 2. The Spanish are pretty decent riders. See where Rome got a decent amount of their cavalry from, there in Gaul. So, you know, the Spanish horse is okay. It's a lot more of a lighter variant compared to the cataphracts of Persia. And now we're actually seeing something which we don't see too often. We're actually seeing the Persians charge forward, and the Carthaginian cavalry is going to cover this left flank. I love how the players are kind of utilizing their forces in each other's armies. I really like these battles where it's not just kind of like one ally on the left flank, one ally on the right flank. I love it when they just combine armies and just have, like, you know, both sides playing the entire battle. I feel like it just makes much more of a realistic battlefield. But we are going to be having the Iberians charging in against the Persian infantry, the Persian swordsmen. I imagine the Persian swordsmen can claim victory here. But again, the Iberians are fierce warriors, especially in Rome 1. The Iberian bull warriors were some of the best infantry in the game. They could take on legionaries if they were leveled up, and only really faltered against urban cohorts. But urban cohorts were like the most insane unit in the game. So the battle lines have now clashed. The Seleucid battle line is advancing to meet the Carthaginians as they come up against the Iberian infantry, which is kind of their heavy late tier infantry. So these bad boys are going to be moving forward to engage against the Seleucid force, but I'm not sure if they're going to be enough to break them. There's a lot of cavalry movement, and we also obviously have the Persians right here committing their Indian war elephants, which again are going to have to do so much. This Iberian sword infantry is completely by itself now, and the cavalry are going to come in with the help of the elephants, and there's nothing to really stop this whatsoever. The Carthaginians are doing a great job at keeping the rest of the Persian cataphracts at bay, but whilst that's happening, a lot of other issues are coming in. We're getting arrow fire pouring in on the Lusitanian noble general unit. And now the Seleucids are fully engaged, and it's really up to the Carthaginians to be, using their numbers, because they have quite a few units here, but unfortunately they're going to be having 2 units against this 1 unit of shield bearers trying to break it because it is so weakened from the Balearic slingers. But now they're going to get caught out, being surrounded kind of on the side, and now we're going to have a wonderful charge here by the Persians coming in with their heavy horse archers, ripping through the back of these Carthaginians. Unfortunately, luckily they are going to be pretty healthy, having over 120 men in their unit, but quickly more and more men are going to come flying in here to counter them, and the Persians are going to try and pull out of there. But they might get caught out. Yeah, the Persian horses are trying to get out of there, but there's no real escape unless they try and thread their way through this gap that the Seleucids have created. But the battle seems like it's slowly going in favor of the Carthaginians because they are losing a large portion of their infantry. The Seleucids are faltering due to that heavy missile fire. The Persians are breaking. The cavalry, the elephants are now running amok. They're still taking down as many foes. How many kills so far? Almost 100 on these Indian elephants. But luckily they've been engaged by a smaller detachment of Carthaginian cavalry, as the pikemen do form up as they get shot by the Persians. And now the big move here by the Persian cataphracts. They are moving around this flank, seeing if they can get in, doing some damage, scaring off the general. And there you go, the Indian war elephants have been brought off as the rest of the Spanish move in, or the Iberians I should say. I think someone told me that the Lusitanians are more of a Portuguese faction, so I guess I should just call them Iberians, or Portuguese I guess. But either way, the Lusitanians are pursuing the heavy archers of Persia as their main battle line has gone, but maybe they should be making their way over here to helping out their Carthaginian ally, because it seems like that the Seleucids, with the help of their general, have kind of crushed this far left flank, and now they're putting a lot of pressure elsewhere, and we're about to get big breaks along the Carthaginian battle line. We also have a unit of Furios spears being thrown in, and this is going to be a great outflank. If the Persian cataphracts can kill the Carthaginian general, that's going to be absolutely massive as they dive in onto the rear of their formation. That's going to be a good envelopment. The Furios spears obviously aren't a heavy shock infantry, but even still, coming into the back of the Liberian, or the Libyan infantry, they're going to be able to just inflict heavy damage on them. We do have, though, the Lusitanians turning up. It's a little bit, just a second too late, but they are now turning up to try and help this out and try and push back these Furios spears who have now been committed to the battle. The Persians are basically in full-on retreat, just trying to use, Karahi tactics to cause as many issues, you know, taking down this one unit, and the Iberian general has nowhere really to go. He's getting hit from every single side. Cavalry charges, arrow fire, everything is coming in and hitting away the general for the Spanish. They've also managed to commit their cataphracts to this fight, engaging some of the Carthaginian horses, with the support of some elephants as well, which will obviously be helping. The African pikemen are getting over here double time, but it might be a little bit too late. I think the cataphracts will be able to pull out from this engagement and move on elsewhere, but more reinforcements are turning up as well. Seems like some mercenary peltists are running into this battle. And yeah, there we have the Persian general getting out of this engagement, and the pelters are actually going to be able to get a nice charge off onto the pikemen into their back, which will probably be the end of them. Going back, we are seeing the Carthaginians about to mass rout here with a few rear charges by the Hellenic cataphracts. It's going to prove worth, yeah, a very impactful charge there. And now more of the Persians are maneuvering over as the sun glistens through the trees, as a Persian victory is looking very, very likely. But maybe the Iberians can pull something out, because the Persians just do not have a battle line whatsoever left, and maybe with the support of the Spanish, if they or the Iberians, they'll be able to cut off this rear charge, and the Carthaginians will be able to cut through, because they do have some really strong mercenary noble fighters that can really get stuck in. But yeah, it's just the cavalry, the Hellenic cataphracts, the Persian cataphracts coming in, and yeah, you can see these soldiers are exhausted. Their general has recently died. They're losing numbers quickly, and that might be enough just to tip them over the edge. This poor Iberian general as well from Lusitania he's just been getting shot to pieces, rear charged, and yeah, he just does not really have much left in him, especially against the heavy cataphracts. Oh, that's a beautiful javelin throw though, taking a lot of the wind out of them horses, and there's only one or two of them left now. And that's basically going to see that Persian cataphract unit completely taken care of. But as you can see, the Persians have managed to clear up the rear part of the Iberian army and the Carthaginian horse, and now they're quickly maneuvering their way back to the battle line. I mean, I don't know if they'll actually need it, because it does seem like for the most part the Seleucid infantry are beating back the noble fighters. I think these guys with the royal peltists will be enough to finally take down the infantry from Carthage. With obviously the Spanish general being taken down, the Iberian general being taken down, that should see the unit fighting the cataphracts. But we also obviously have another unit of Hellenic horses, or sorry, Persian horses this time, moving in. And I mean, nobody wanted to be on the receiving end of this charge, because that happens. You get trampled under the hoofs with the axes and the infantry, and without any general here to kind of rally them and keep them around, that is going to be the end of the battle, and we are going to see a clean victory here by the Seleucids and their Persian vassals. So a massive GG to the players. A big shout out to Lolwat for sending this replay in. I really appreciate it. He's the guy who normally sends me in the Rise of Mordor battles, so a big shout out to him. So yeah, and if you guys want to play in these battles, be sure to join the Discord. The link is down below in the description. Join the Discord, just let people know that you're looking for games, and then occasionally people will host them as well, or you can just host them and find people to play with. There's normally always guys looking, so you can quite easily find people to play with, and then if it's a good battle, you can send the replay over to me. I'm pretty excited to see how many kills the elephants actually got. The Persian elephants didn't do too well, but we do have the Carthaginian elephants with over 480 kills. That is insane. The mercenary noble fighters with over 300 kills is really juicy. The Carthaginian cavalry just did not stand up to the Hellenic and the Persian horse whatsoever. And you can see the Persian cataphracts with over 300 kills. It's pretty disgusting. The Lusitanians with a pretty nice amount of kills on their infantry, which is kind of what you expect. Poor general got over 282 kills as well. Considering he was just being shot, that's not too bad. And yeah, I mean, obviously the kills right there. So if you guys enjoy this battle, be sure to drop a like and a comment down below. Hit that bell notification button and obviously subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next one.